Fellow citizens, President Edgar Chagwalungu came here. I was among the key political leaders, if not the only one, who was very hopeful that because he had set his feet on these holy grounds, that was going to reform and begin to lead Zambia with the seriousness that our country deserves, including ensuring that corruption stopped in government, and also ensuring that the poor people, those who are less able to afford 3 meals per day, those who can't access 21st century health care, were helped. I was very happy. I said that he has come here probably as reflected. You recall that before he came here, we in the UPP launched the Bring Back Our Money anti-corruption campaign. And one of the defining cases that we successfully brought out clearly was the Maizegate scandal, that's $34.5 million United States dollars scandal. Corruption took place on the Zambian soils. The Zambian government gave a tender to Transglobe of Malawi, which is not registered for tax purposes in our country. How did Transglobe get a contract? And they are saying there was no corruption. And this happened at a time that they imposed a ban on the export of maize so that they could dubiously export the maize to Malawi and exploit our farmers in the rural communities. The government of Malawi acted. Chaponda came to Zambia, former Minister of Agriculture in Malawi, who was also Vice President of that political party there, the ruling party. Dr. Chaponda met with President Edgar Chagwalungu. They met together at the State House to seal that particular deal, which was embedded in corruption from the beginning. It was stinking corruption. But he denied that there was no corruption. All the documents that were signed in Zambia were fraud. It's the Zambian government, after UPP exposed them, that did backdate contracts, which is fraud, the fraudulently, change the details to remove the right, corporation that was there, and they put those corporations in which they had interests in order to loot. Then on the Malawian side, they ensured that they connived with the Revenue Authority of Malawi so that they could take, if I don't I'm saying revenue, I'm talking about the corrupt people. They wanted to pocket that money. They pocketed the money because money exchange hands, by the way. With corruption, exchanging money comes first. So they exchanged the money in this particular case. And after exchanging the money, they wanted to supply air when the people needed food in Malawi. And Zambia needed money to build the economy. From there, there are many scandals that we brought out. Number one, it was the RATSA, contract involving Lamise. We told you, fellow citizens, that they entered into a contract, and that Lamise was going to be making $300 million per annum. And we did say that this $300 million, if we put that system under the management of Zambian corporations, it would help our economy, our ailing economy, a lot. The response was that Chishimba belongs to the Saviour. They didn't act on it. We also brought out some of the scandals to do with the outdoor advertising at the Lusaka City Council as an example, because these scandals are happening everywhere in the country. The response was that I belong to the Saviour and that I was a madman, that Chishimba is a madman. That's what they said. Beyond that, they were excessive in that I was detained for exposing their own corruption. I became the victim of the corrupt system of a leadership that did not want to listen to the truth. And apart from that, there are scandals to do with in the road sector, inflating of contract prices, corruption in the mining sector. We are talking about billions of dollars that mining companies cheat using fraudulent accounting. JCCMIH have been talking about this case, and we in the UPP will not stop talking about these cases until that money is recovered. $4 billion, State House intervened. Another $4 billion they intervened. How about the billions of US dollars in the precious stone sector? How about our wood? I'm talking about the Mukula, for instance, because Mukula is like gold. How about 10% of gold? We started saying these things way in 2016 when we launched the Bring Back our money anti-corruption campaign. The response was, Lieutenant Chishimba, Chishimba Dishiru. For how long will Zambia listen to people who call others Azamashiru when they are saying the truth? For how long will this continue to the citizens? I'm here. I've decided to arrive this morning very ready to raise a cry over Zambia to see if the God that these people who are corrupt have been talking about is the kind of God that they think it is. Because God is merciful and God cares for the people. Just hold on a minute. Hold on. So, these matters that I'm talking about are very serious matters. Here in the land of Israel, which is the source of the Bible that we talk about in Zambia, we read very clearly in the Bible. On how wicked kings were told you are wicked. You don't give honor to a king or a president who is wicked. When the president steals, don't say, Your Excellency, you thief. When the president or a minister does something stupid, call it stupid. That's not a sin. And I'm saying these things here. Now let me give you one particular example, biblical example. You recall Prophet Nathan went to King David to rebuke him. Now this prophet was very close to King David. In this city, where I am, not too far from here. The city of Melech David or King David is 1 minute away. From here, I walk down to that city where these things happened. What did he tell him? After, you know the story of King David, when he slept with Bathsheba, and then he killed the husband of Bathsheba. Now Nathan, who was very close to King David, he was a prophet. He did not compromise his prophetic office like some pastors who are close to the president and the powers that be are compromised. They are also wicked and will be judged together. What did Nathan say? I want you to listen to what he said. First of all, he told David about, I'm going to paraphrase that, if someone who has something, just one little item, something small. Now in answer, he said, that person is wicked who goes to take away the little that someone has. Then he said, it is you. In other words, he said, it is you, you are wicked, wicked king. He was eating with him. So when you read 2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 7, I'll read the English part and then I'll read in Hebrew so that you can understand what was said. And Nathan said to David, Thou art the man. Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, I anointed thee king over Israel, and I delivered thee out of the hand of Saul. And I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives into thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that were too little, then would I add unto thee so much. Wherefore hast thou despised the word of the Lord to do that which is evil in my sight? Uriah the Hittite thou hast smitten with the sword, and his wife thou hast taken to be thy wife, and him thou hast slain with the sword of the children of Ammon. Now listen to the words of Prophet Nathan. Vayomer Nathan el David, Ata Haish, Ko Ata Adonai Elohei, Israel, Anochi me shatiti cha, lemelech al Israel ve Anochi, asla ticha mi yad yaol. Yes, yaol. Now listen to this. He's saying, Vayomer Nathan el David, Ata Haish. What does that mean? He said, you are the man. He didn't say, you are your excellency or you are the king. This was after David said, that is wickedness, that person is wicked. Nathan or Nathan in Hebrew said, Ata Haish. You are the man who is wicked. Here in the Holy Land. Now today we have common thieves in government. When they have stolen, when we say stealing is the stupidity, it's foolishness. Because when you steal, the people suffer. The people suffer. When the people suffer, they die. When they die, you have blood in your hands. That's these things we are talking about. And we are taking things for granted. Now there are many, many things that we would like actually to take you through. On a very, very serious note. Now, what are some of these things? When it comes to seeking wisdom, we expect the rulers to listen, because they are using, Christianity in Zambia to abuse the people. Someone has stolen, and then he calls for, let's go for prayer and fasting. People have not eaten. Isaiah 58 says, the kind of fasting that I desire is loosening the bands of wickedness and not ceasing from eating. What will it do? You sanctify a fast in the nation, in a country that the majority have not eaten. And then you go and stand, and you are carrying big Bibles. It's unfortunate that those pastors who are righteous, they have no access to you. Because others, they think that by praising kings, they are abusing. There is nowhere in the Bible where it says that the king who has stolen must be honored, must be praised. Honor is in practical works, caring for the needy, caring for the poor people. That's what sanctifies the name of the Almighty. Before whom are you fasting? Fasting unto the Lord. By ceasing from eating, when you have stolen money, it's in your pockets. And look what has become of Zambia today. First of all, Amos Chanda is an example of what happens if we do not listen. Amos Chanda did not steal alone. Corruption was taking place in the State House. They were sharing money. And we demand answers from President Edgar Chagwa. He has misruled the country. His administration is the most corrupt ever. The looting that has gone on in our republic is unprecedented. And he has run the country by running away from it. Thinking that in the last minute, we just go and people will sing songs. Now, even this song they came up with a Dununa reverse. The country has not only been Dununad, but it has also been reversed. And we have seen these things before our eyes. The Bible in Numbers chapter 14 verse 7 says, as surely as I have heard in my ears, so shall I do. We said Dununa reverse. And the country has gone in the reverse. And the first sign that the Almighty was against the regime was that when they came to power in 2011, the first thing which greeted us were army worms, which were virtually unheard of. It was a language of even telling us that these people that have come, they are worms. They have come to eat up the soul of the nation. That they have come for corruption, they have come to loot. What rivers began to dry up. Drought came into the land. And at the time that rivers are drying up, they begin to do things that are hurting, that are injuring the environment. The Lower Zambezi project, Kingsland project on the Water Recharge Zone, NRDs, all given to the Chinese who don't care about Zambia, whether our rivers dry up, they don't care. And then they are complaining about climate change, when they are the agents of climate change themselves. They are the drivers of climate change. Is this a Zambia that all of us want to be in? And now he's talking about cutting down salaries. And by the way, it is a lie when he said that it is only those who are not unionized. Workers in all state-owned corporations, statutory bodies, name them the Independent Broadcasting Authority, all statutory bodies have received letters. They are being told to adjust salaries downwards. Have they given consent to those people? This is illegal. There is no law whatsoever that this government is basing on that particular action. Now they are putting austerity in the pockets of the people of Zambia. The pockets that are already empty. At a time that we have the kwacha, which is useless, it has become one of the most useless currencies of the world. The purchasing power of the kwacha has plummeted. The people of Zambia cannot afford to eat 3 meals per day. When the PF government came to power, the price of meal meal was around 25 kwacha to 35 kwacha thereabout. Now today, it's in excess of 200 kwacha. What kind of an increment is this we want to acquire? Now, to pass also. And one might be smiling, I know let's smile. Me, I'm not like one of those people. And they smile, not take a pakulanda. That you be presidential. Be presidential, want to validate. You be humble. Be humble. Humility is not an permanent now agitation. I tell you humility. Chichitire finda ramana chiva. Ichi muntu chichitire fina chikupuma chichitire. Inda ramana chiva. No muntu ule Saviour correcting things, doing the right things, and ensuring that right things are done, people eat. Who is more righteous? That person is more humble. The one who is not touching the people's money. The stage that the country has reached is where we need a very firm leader, firm leader, to stop the nonsense in the country, to stop foolishness, to stop ubupuba, to stop stupidity, and ensure that the country gets back to work. We've been asleep for far too long. Where were we when all these things were happening? You saw some people, they were cycling bicycles before they rose to power. Suddenly, these people, they are the ones who are doing everything. When I'm saying everything, they're the ones who are building their own houses. Meanwhile, they are saying there's no money for the police. There's no money for council workers. Council workers have gone and paid for almost a year. We are coming to the end of the year. Funding has not been going to many schools, hospitals, and yet they are stealing drugs. You go and steal drugs from the medical stores, and people die and want us to smile. That no, we must be smiling. When I say this is the stupid action, here I've given you an example in the Bible. A prophet is telling a king right in the palace, Ata Haish, you are the man, wicked king. Here in the Holy Land, about Zambia, a Gentile nation. We have people who pretend to understand scriptures and yet they do not understand them. The Christian Bible says, for instance, in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 9 to 10, it says, this is the King James Version, know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God. Thieves, drunkards, they will not enter the kingdom of God. I haven't said these things. So when they say you are wicked, you are thieves at your Atukan, there must be humility. You don't understand the Bible at all. Africa has become an enemy to herself. The people of Zambia must rise above being their own enemies. We need to begin to call something stupid, stupid. We need to call something wise, wise. Stupid or foolish, it simply means unwise. That's the meaning of foolishness. Anything opposite wisdom is foolish. So how is that an insult? We are just stating the language, things I say, and I'm not going to apologize to anybody. And I'm standing on these holy grounds that let every corrupt ruler in Zambia be dealt with by heaven. I did say a couple of years ago that let the Almighty strengthen the hand of Lungu so that Zambians can learn. Now, if we have not learned now that recycling the same thieves that we know will not help Zambia unless you, the people of Zambia yourselves, begin to rise and say no to ever served as minister, ever. It's time to have clean people, clean beginning, new beginning. There are many professionals in the NGO sector, in the private sector, international organizations, in the diaspora. If all those new brains came together, young people, it's time for a new youth revolution, like that of our founding fathers and mothers. It was the youth who united. They were in their 20s. They had no time to be young. I challenge all of us not to be young, to say enough is enough. It's time to deliver Zambia. After speaking to you, I'm going to leave a prayer. This is the prayer here, which I'm going to leave on the holy grounds behind me. I'm going to leave this prayer there. Oh God, arise over Zambia, dethrone thieves and wicked rulers, and enthrone righteous leaders. I'll be here raising the cry. The next couple of days, I'm back. Let the God of heaven arise and deliver Zambia. The people have suffered abantu bachula, and 2020 will see more untold misery among the people of Zambia. This is not what the people bargained for. When you reduce all those sides we're talking about, how is that adding to the economy? When you are looking away on the case involving ZCCM, KCM, when you looked away over those fire tenders, when you looked away over houses that are growing like mushrooms, when you looked away in the emerald sector, all these sectors, when you put them together, you will find that we are talking about billions of what? Dollars, sorry, shall I say, which is far more than the national budget. And then we want to be praying. The Lord cannot answer those empty prayers. They are kind of prayers that are noise. You are voting for them and then you are praying. And then these same people loot us, they say, let us go and fast and pray. In the Ramana, they say, go and fast. People who belong to prison. Ambassador Foot said, if they can apply the same energy, this is zeal, in jailing these people who have committed the homosexual acts, if they can apply it also to fight corruption, Zambia can be a better place. Oh, Ambassador Atlati, bring homosexual. He didn't say that. If that man stood here and we asked the Almighty to judge, Lungu would go to hell. I'm telling you the truth here. Ambassador Foot would enter heaven, Lungu would go to hell. I'm telling you, when I said scripture, I'm telling you this is what will happen. Because Ambassador Foot didn't say, let Zambia impose gay rights, and then after imposing gay rights, that's when he shall give you aid. He didn't say that. He said, the punishment is excessive as compared to the corrupt. We had people borrowing money. That one who borrowed $2 billion. He was just in prison for a few months. He joined the PF, he's chairman for Kauma. Austin there. He's chairman for Kauma. And then you are saying, no, this is wicked. You wicked people, wicked rulers. Bakabola Alaba Pompo. I'm speaking with evidence. And I'll speak with evidence here in prayer when I'll be raising a cry that now even drama. And I will list all the corruptions over which I have evidence involving the Lungu administration. And here I'm going to raise a cry today to say, surely Lord, Lungu is a thief. And I'm going to justify it. Time has come, we can't move between two opinions. My Lord Yuku, you are serving God, you are saying you are serving God, then you are saving. The things that you are doing are showing that you are not serving God at all. Let God be God in Zambia. If the Lord God of Israel is the Lord God of justice, the Holy One of Israel, the mighty one of Yaakov, on these grounds that I'm standing, where the temple stood, and in fact, in the Christian Bible, I'm speaking to us Christians in Zambia, in the Christian Bible, it is that here, in the temple, on the temple here, that talking about Yeshua, that when he came, he found many changes. He began to them, you brutes of snakes, you thieves, that was angry. Was he smiling? People think that you just smile. A person who smiles, why shouldn't he smile? Chipuba, number one. It's Chipuba, Chile smile. Now, he didn't smile here. Your Lord didn't smile here. If you call him Lord, he didn't smile here. He was angry, he was furious. Now for us, we are smiling. In the you are smiling. I've taken about that as president with his hope as president of the Republic of Zambia. One, everything corrupt to go to where it belongs. Every element is corrupt. There will be Kulula Zambia. To do the right things for once. For how long will people say the truth in Zambia perish? For how long? For how long wickedness continue and make God a liar? That God is lies. God is not a liar. Is the Lord God of righteousness and justice. And that's what all of you ought to know. Stop the corruption. Take power to where it belongs. Remove power of implementing programs from central government. Take it to local authorities. Scrap off as you propose in the UPP. Me have said it. That if should you people of Zambia understand this thing that I'm talking about, I'm telling you, Zambia can change. And it will be like, people say, wow, it was just like a matter of one switch and things have changed. Things can change and give confidence and give hope to the poor people. Zambia is not a poor country. That's why I'm saying poor people in a rich country, which is endowed with resources. When we say in the UPP, we shall scrap off pay as you earn, we shall scrap off those taxes, that workers will not be paying any tax. The only deduction on the pay will be Social Security, which is pensions. You say how will it be done? There are more than 15 countries in the world. Those countries that are endowed with natural resources, they don't apply tax. Including Bahamas, which doesn't have copper, it doesn't have mineral wealth. And I've explained the principle, except you don't pay attention to these things. That when you do that in a country, why should the Zambians be paying pay as you earn? Our budget is 126 billion kwacha, which is about the budget of Harvard University. Harvard University budget is about $8 billion. It's more than the budget of Zambia, actually. Harvard University has 22,000 students with $8 billion as the budget. Zambia, 17.6 million people, a land which is vast with all the mineral resources, water, arable land. Their budget is smaller. This country where I am is 39 times smaller than Zambia. Zambia is 39 times bigger. GDP is close to, in fact, that is about 2 years ago, about 400 billion, dollars. Almost half a million in terms of, dollars. I'm talking about dollars. Sorry, for $400 billion, which is like almost half a trillion, if you like. That's the GDP. No mineral resources. So these are things that we ought to be speaking to as a country and restore order in our republic. So we ask you, the right price we're praying right now is, first of all, we need to ask for forgiveness, which I'm going to do here. That we are a nation that has not listened. We are a nation that has been voting on emotions. Somebody comes, just because of the way he's dancing at Katumu Hotel, and we vote for a thief. Others, they are in government today. They are better to go and urinate in the Kariba. Tomorrow they leave government. You, the same people of Zambia, you can't support them. You even give them one vote. Such people are not worthy, not even one vote. You say, no, they have changed. You don't experiment when it comes to national leadership. These are people you know that all they care about is money. That's why they can easily change. They can easily swift change as long as their interests are taken care of. To them, politics is a game. Politics is not a game. It's a divine call. It's a vocation. So when you are called to politics, you must understand that you are there not to serve your interests, but to save the interests of those who are less able. It's cowardice. Use power to help yourself. Use power to help those that need help. In Hebrew, that is called Kiddush Hashem, meaning sanctifying the name of the Almighty. And that's why I'm challenging, I'm calling on all pastors, please, take time to study. Understand the original language in which scriptures were written. And I do believe when you do that, it is going to help a lot. And I have no doubt about it in my heart. So time has come to liberate our country. It cannot be business as usual. No, it cannot be. It cannot be. It cannot be. And we must listen to the truth. The story is told of Prophet Micaiah, that the king, King Ahab, gathered more than 400 prophets and were prophesying, go to war, you are going to be victorious. Because they are eating sausage and chips. They have brown envelopes. Then Joshua said, oh, Joshua said, this entire prophet, meaning Joshua saw that Abama prophets, they are fake. And no, there is one, but doesn't say good things. They went and they brought Micaiah. And Micaiah told him. He said, you can go. He said, you are lying to me. Can you tell me what the Lord is saying? And he told him what was going to happen. Why did the king say that, no, put him in prison? When I come back, I'm going to deal with him. In fact, by the way, he was slapped. He was slapped. He told him that you're not going to come back, you die. He said, when I come back from prison, what happened? He died like a dog, and dogs licked his blood, as the prophets had prophesied. When time came to free Israel, did Jehu, for instance, smile when he raised men and they went to the palace to deal with Jezebel? They caught Jezebel and threw her to the ground, and she was torn to pieces with fury. So there comes a time that you ought to be furious. I'm telling you, you cannot say that you are under pressure until it pushes you. You have this naturally, this fury. And many people don't understand. By the time that will come, you don't understand me. And I don't need to be understood. I only say things as they are. We in the UPP are crusaders, we are revolutionaries, and we want to restore order in Zambia. It's time to recover every amount of money that was stolen. Today, some people are going to say, they're saying, no, we will recover the money. We in the UPP said it when we launched the Bring Back Our Money anti-corruption money in 2016. Is there any leader in Zambia who has ever launched the Bring Back Our Money anti-corruption campaign? Nobody. In 2016. Today, that's when they are saying these things. I saw this in 2009 when I quit. And I warned that there will be mass sufferings should the PF rise to power. Because the same people, the same ministers who are part of the lot have joined us. They have taken over. The real PF were outside. It would be wrong to be judging this PF that we have to be saying PF. We must be saying looters who have taken over PF. That's what we must be calling them. They are thieves, they are looters. Very insensitive people. How many marketeers today are being pushed out of business? They can't even sell tomato. Because demand in the economy has just shrunk. People have no money. How much more this year? Fuel has gone up, electricity has gone up, and they don't care when it comes to electricity. Even if they produce, they will export. Because it's China that has taken over. The Chinese want to get their money quickly. That's why they're increasing the cost of electricity. It's not meant to serve the interests of Zambia at all. And this is where we are as a country which is doomed. But we can come out of this doom. Now, to come out of this doom, we need to say the truth. As me, I'm not scared of anybody. You don't know what I'm made of. And as the lion, if you understand what it means to be a lion with the eyes of an eagle, you didn't even ever question the things that I speak about, that I've been talking about very consistently. Since I appeared on the political scene in 2006, very consistently. I've never changed. You can check my debates from 2006 in the House. Very consistent. I started calling for the change of systems, but people don't listen. The same people who, by then they were ministers, they were speakers or deputy speakers, they didn't see the need to change. Now that they're outside the opposition, they're saying, oh, who will change? These people cannot change anything. That's what it's about. Time to look at the credentials. Who has been very consistent to lead Zambia? This is what all of us must be talking about now. Time has come to free Zambia. Look at the manufacturing sector, which must create jobs. It's under capture. Zambia is a dumping ground. They are talking about the power projects. Go and look at the cost at which they have done them. In one of the videos, broadcasts on Facebook, we did take you through the corruption that has taken place in ZESCO. That ZESCO, when you look at the amounts of funds borrowed, there are billions of dollars. Look at the output in terms of power, nothing. When they increased electricity 2 years ago, they were saying they're increasing because they wanted ZESCO to be more competitive and they wanted to invest in alternative sources of energy. Have they done it? No. Why have they increased? The same language. That's not the way things can change. That's why this calls for righteousness, to do the will of the Almighty, the will of the Father in heaven, to care for the poor people. And the economy needs recovery. And to recover the economy, we in the UPP have developed a very clear, cogent economic recovery program, the stimulus package, how we are going to stimulate the economy. Giving, first of all, increasing access and low interest loans to the SMEs by pooling all microfinance institutions into microbanks to become microbanks with low interest rates, with more protection under the Bank of Zambia. Microfinance institutions cannot be the source for financing in Zambia. Look what the civil servants take, men and women in security, who are suffering. They are already slaves. So this is what we mean. Because we have leaders who have the Ubusha mentality. Ubusha means captivity. We are a nation under capture, under state capture. And our people effectively have been led under capture by people who have a wrong mentality, who don't care about Zambia, who are not nationalists. Now, how do you free all these men and women who, when they get their pay slips, right now pay slips are in the negative? And they are surviving on Kaloba. Because there is a Kaloba spirit in the country. These people go on the street to go and borrow on behalf of the country. Some of the debts you don't even know about them. If that $4.7 billion they have borrowed, if it went into projects for the people, money would have gone in the pockets of the people. They want to show as if they are working. They have inflated contract prices. They are pocketing the huge amounts of money. They are so insensitive about that. Let's reduce salaries. Reduce salaries. In the you are out of the country. You have $2 billion. Let's reduce the salaries. You have already stolen. No, me, I'm volunteering. Other ministers, quite people. Me, I'm volunteering. You have stolen the money. When you are stealing, why are you volunteering to want to steal? You first of all, you volunteer to steal. First of all, volunteering for own benefits. I say impact. They say you are volunteering. You cannot run the country by public relations. First of all, no, let's show some kind of PR so at the start we are working. People are suffering. So let me go and now present these prayers there. Then I'm coming back. Almighty Father, over Zambia to Achepa, what I mean is that the level where things are to take his hand, but we too must be ready and to call for courage. In this land, Prophet Isaiah was called. The Lord asked who will go for us. He didn't say, let A go for us. He said, here I am, go for me. And let me go for you. Sorry. Here I am, Lord, send me. So I'm the first, at the beginning of this new year, on the Gregorian calendar, I'm saying, here I am. Lord, send me over Zambia. Strengthen me over Zambia, like you always strengthened Jeremiah. When you said, I'll strengthen you, I know they are hard-hearted. And I want each and every person, if you are watching, if you're not watching, those who are watching, speak to others. Let them begin to say, here I am, send me. Don't say another person. It's wickedness to look for another person. Say, here I am, send me. To be part of the birthing of a prosperous, corruption-free new Zambia, which is dependent on the young people. Don't worry about what those people are fake, who are supporting the nonsense, the corruption. God sees. Let this be the season of Like what happened the season of Eliyahu, the season of Elijah, Eliyahu in Hebrew, on Mount Carmel. When 450 prophets of Baal, fake prophets, perished. And any fake pastor who is faking up things, fake pastor, be warned. Fake bishop, be warned. These are not ordinary times. You die like those false prophets who died. Together with the wicked king, dogs licked his blood. Enough is enough. The fury you see, that's a fury from heaven. It's not, if you think that it's easy to do these things I do, then there's something wrong with you. If you think I'm speaking my words, continue to play with these words that I'm speaking. I'm judging the spirit. I have a heavenly mandate to judge every wrong spirit to free them. Zambia needs radical change, and that radical change, come 2021, it will come. It's not like business as usual. Or let me appear presidential. Hey, what people? Presidential. Oh, who take an apagulanda? We rapata. Oh. Freedom is coming. Zambia shall live. This is the true faith and hope that we must have. All of us. Faith and hope. This faith must be accompanied with actions. That is true faith. Anything short of that is not faith. Thank you.